Going well.
Nice, nice. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Did you get good news? Can your cast come off in 3 weeks, 1 month?
Hmm. I'm not sure. I need to have this casket at least additional 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Now,
Yeah.
a typhoon is between South Korea and Japan, Japan Sea.
Is it going to reach Japan, do you think?
I know they are going to the northern part of the
Uh-huh.
Hokkaido, maybe. It will attack Hokkaido.
Okay, attack Hokkaido. Okay.
Uh,
So it's
this
going
morning,
to
this morning it was windy and very strong rain. But
uh-huh.
now it's getting better. I can see blue sky.
Nice. That's always good. Salvador, how's it going, my friend?
Hi, doing great. Thank you for asking. How are you?
Good, good. I'm good. Salvador, have you been in my class before?
Last time was in your class for 30 minutes.
Uh-huh, just for 30 minutes. I forgot where you're from.
I'm from Honduras.
Honduras.
Yes.
Honduras. Nice to meet you, man. Nice to see you again.
Okay.
Um,
Nice
how
to
was your
meet you.
day? Oh, that's fine. How was your day? Yeah.
It was a great day. I just came home from the work.
Nice, nice. Same here, I think. So it's time to rest, right?
Yes, right.
Rest and also learn some English.
Yes.
That's great. That's great. What about, let's see, who did anyone just join? Yeah, we have our good friend Murad. How's it going, Murad?
Hello, I am fine, thank you. How about you?
Good, good, good. How's life in Monterey?
No, it's normal. It's okay.
Has it rained recently?
Some days ago, it did,
Yeah, probably rained a lot, right?
but the day before it was very cold.
Yeah. Marco and I think Ingrid, right? Huracan, Marco.
Marco?
Weren't those the names of the two hurricanes, Marco and Ingrid, I think?
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay, I was watching this news channel and they were saying Mexico
It
was.
was in another state, I think.
Oh, okay.
In Acapulco, right?
Acapulco, okay, so on the west coast.
Yes.
Uh-huh. El Estado Soberano y Libre de Acapulco. Soberano y libre. I love that. I love
Libre.
that. Hey, Jose, how's it going, man?
Hello, Farkan. Hello, everybody. How you doing?
Good, good. How's your day?
Um, well, I was a little busy,
Uh-huh.
despite it's a free day here
Uh-huh.
or holiday. Yeah, but I was working intraday.
Were you able to relax at least a little bit?
Yeah, of course. I would like to.
Nice, nice. And good friend Alberto, how's it going, man?
Hi Farkan, how are you doing? I'm
Good,
fine.
good.
Thank you.
Good. How's your day?
Oh, I think it was a good day. Yeah. What about you?
Good,
Alba?
good. Normal day. I,
Yeah,
I
great.
have I have 2 days until I finish my job, and then I will go on vacation. So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
yeah, it would be really nice to just not think about work. All right, guys. Well, great. Welcome to class. Just wanted to begin the class today with a quick question. Today we're going to be talking about prepositions of just general prepositions of place. We've been focusing a lot on prepositions the last couple of lessons. They are important in English when we talk about when we try to relate nouns to each other, right? That's when prepositions become really important. Before we get started, I just wanted to ask a quick question to each of you. Could you describe a few objects that are maybe physically near you right now? Maybe something that's on your desk, something that's near your computer, right? You can talk about anything that's near you. Let's start with Salvador.
Okay. I have my cell phones on my desk, and I have a television behind me.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a cell phone on your desk, and you have a TV behind you, your television behind you?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Murad, could you describe a few items that are close to you?
There are many things. A bottle of water, some copybooks, my keys, my cell phone, some cosmetics products, some clips, many things.
Nice. But could you describe where they are maybe? Are they on a table? Are they on a desk?
They are on my desk.
They are on your desk. Fantastic, right?
Yes.
Yulisa, how's it going? Welcome to class.
Hi, Farhan. I'm doing fine. Thank you.
Good. Could you describe a few things that are near you?
Okay, let me see. There is a desk in front of me. There are books above the desk.
There are books above the desk.
Yeah, or over.
Or if you can just say, are the books on the desk?
On, yeah, right.
On the desk, fantastic,
There are
okay.
books on the desk.
What else?
What else? There is a, how to say, okay, there is a TV next to the desk.
There's a TV next to the desk as well, fantastic. And you can also, so those are great ways to think about what is near us, right?
Yep.
Somebody's playing music, yeah. In any case, Heidi, could you describe a few things that are near you?
Yes, my computer is on the desk. And between computer and me, there's a notebook. On the notebook, there's a ball pen. Sometimes I write down some phrase or new word.
Fantastic. That's always a good thing to have, right? A notebook near you. And Alberto, last but not least, something that is near you or things that are near you that you can describe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I already memorized the title of the lesson and the participant.
Nice. It's good. It's good to have that record always, Heidi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have some questions, please ask me. I memorize a lot of things.
It seems like it, Heidi. You know a lot of stuff, and it's very good that you keep notes. Yes, Alberto, go ahead.
Okay. There is a television in front of me. A cup of lemonade on the table. There is a computer on my lap. There is a sofa next to me. I think that's all.
Fantastic. That's great. So all of you guys, when you were describing objects that were near you, you guys used prepositions of place, right? So this is really the focus of today's class. We are talking about prepositions of place, and whenever we think of prepositions, right, it's easiest to think of prepositions when we think of two objects, right? So all of you guys were saying, for example, there is a sofa next to me, right? So the sofa and me, those are two objects. There is a book on the table, right? Book, table, two objects. And the words that you use to describe prepositions to describe location, to describe place, when we have two objects, two or more objects, we use prepositions such as on, such as in, and at, right? On, in, and at. These are the big three that we use when we talk about location, right? So on, in, and at, right? So the first example, and you guys gave a lot of these examples, I'm just going to review them. You can say, for example, the food is on the table, right? The food is on the table. There is a mess on the floor. Maybe you have a young child who makes a mess or who, destroys his surroundings by throwing food around, right? There is a mess on the desk. There is a mess on the floor. The painting hangs on the wall, right? Or the map hangs on the wall, right? Children sleeping on the bed, right? Maybe you have kids. You walk into the bedroom. You can say, my kids are all sleeping on the bed, right? Sometimes little kids, they are sleeping on the floor because they're crazy. They do whatever they want. So that's how we use on, right? We use on to describe people or objects that are resting on a surface, right? My phone is on the table, It's not moving. It's just resting on the surface of another object, right? It's resting on the surface of the table. So my phone is on the table, right? We also use on to describe relationships between people and vehicles, right? Between people and means of transportation, right? He is on his bike, right? He is on his bicycle. Um, he is, or she is on her horse. She is riding her horse. She is on her horse, right? People from my part of the world, we have elephants. People in India have elephants. So we can say, I am riding on my elephant, right? Or for example, people in other parts of the world, they ride camels, right? He is riding on his camel. So when we talk about people and modes of transportation, what they can ride, right? He's on the bus, he's on the train, he's on the plane, right? For all of these examples, we use on, right? Whenever you think of yourself as a passenger, you are on something, right? The only exception is cars that I can think of. One of the main exceptions is when you're in a car. You say, I am in the car. You don't say, I'm on a car. If you said you are on a car, that means that you are riding above the car. You are on top of the car, right? So there's a little bit of a difference. There are some exceptions to that rule, but generally when we talk about transportation, something that is moving, an elephant, a camel, a bus, a train, a plane, we use on, right? Any questions about that first part, guys? About the word on, the preposition on? Yeah.
Is there another exception for on besides the cars?
I'm trying to think honestly, and besides car, I can't think of another example when you would use something else when you're talking about riding something or some form of transportation, right? I'm thinking maybe if you guys think of an example that you might think will work, let me know. But yeah, really, we say on a bus, on a car, on a train, on a plane, on a camel, on an elephant, on a horse, right? Really every example of transportation, except for cars.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but that's a very good question. Any other questions, guys, about on?
Not about on, but
Not about
about
on.
above and over. Are they the same, or what is the difference?
So above means, for example, if something is physically above something else, right? It doesn't have to be resting on a surface, right? So for example, on really means that the object is touching the other object, right? So my phone is on the desk means my phone is touching the desk, it's on top of the desk, right? Above can really mean anything. Above can mean, for example, that the clouds are above the mountains,
Okay. They are
right?
not touching
They
each
don't,
other.
exactly. They don't have to be touching each other, right? Or you can say the house is above the clouds. Like, maybe the house is very high up. It's above the clouds in terms of its location, right? And over is really, what kind of example were you thinking of, Yulisa, when you think over? It's a good question, but I was thinking maybe you have an example.
For example, the base flower is over the table, but I think that case it would be on, right?
Yes, so the flower vase is on the table, right? The flower vase is on the table because it's physically touching the table, right? Over, really, we don't use so much as a preposition. Honestly, Elisa, to be honest with you.
I think over is used when we talk about an immediate superiority.
Uh-huh. Well, what's an example of that, Murad?
For example, do not let people come across over you.
Yeah, do not let people come across over you. Uh-huh. Would that be something like you would tell your child?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a rule, right? Like, don't let people cross over you, right?
For example, typhoon passed over Japan right now.
Yeah, that's a really good example also. right? So you're talking about, for example, a storm, a hurricane, some kind of, natural wonder. It passed over your city, your town, your country, right? That's a really good example, Heidi, actually. And I also like Murad's when if you're talking about someone crossing you over, it means to maybe, interfere with your life or disturb you, right? Interfere with you, disturb you. In those instances, you can use over. But really, in terms of location, in terms of saying something is on top of something, we don't use over so much, Yulisa.
Okay. It's better above.
Above is better if it's a distance thing, like if it's a height related thing. But if it's touching, then we should use on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, good questions, guys. You guys are doing a great job. Let's jump to the
And
second.
maybe it's used when we talk about something which is, for example, intangible.
If something is intangible, right? What's an
Yes.
example of that, maybe, Murad, that you can give us?
For example, I am talking to you over the phone.
Fantastic. I'm talking to you over the phone, right?
Yes.
100% correct. Yulisa, that's another great example.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, no, that's good. Murad, thank you, Murad. That was a great example. Let's think about in, guys. So what do we use in for, right? In we use when we are talking about position of things that are, position of items or objects that are within an enclosed space, right? That are in an area or that are within a place that has boundaries, right? You can think of it like that. For example, the criminal is in jail, right? I'm in the mall, right? I'm in the shopping center. I'm in the park, right? Park has defined boundaries. Shopping center has defined boundaries. The jail hopefully has defined boundaries, right? So these are things that we use in for, and we also use in for natural mediums, natural media, right? So for example, I'm in the water, I'm in the air, I'm in the sand, right? I was rolling around in the sand. I took a swim in the water, in the nice cold water, right? I flew the airplane. Actually, no, that's not a good example. But think of it as maybe any other surface, right? The cells are submerged in water, right? The cells are, or the plasma is floating in blood, right? Any of those things you can think of, any kind of natural media like water, air, gas, right? Those things we use in for, right? And you can also, in is also used for cars, right? We can use it also for boats, right? So you can say, I'm in the boat, right? You wouldn't say on the boat. This is another interesting thing. You would say on a ship or on the ship, but you wouldn't say on the boat. You'd say in the boat. So I guess that's another example. Car and boat are both using in, right? So how could what's another way that we can use in? Let's just go through all of us. Let's try to give an example of something that we can use in for. Remember, the key is it has enclosed boundaries, right? We use in for something that has defined boundaries. Hey, Claudio, how's it going, man?
I'm doing well, bro. Hi, Ron.
How's it going? Good to see you again.
Oh, good to see you again, too.
Fantastic. We're going to be going around, Claudio, real quick and just talking about, we each want to make a sentence using in. So when it's your turn, if you have questions, let us know, because if you have questions we can answer, we can help you answer them. Sounds good?
Oh, sounds good. I will need to use in my question.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
We want to use in. So let's start with you, Alberto. Let's start with you and let's go down the line.
Alberto?
Yeah, is Alberto?
Alberto? Okay.
Can you hear me, man? I think he's frozen. Okay, Claudio, let's start with you.
Oh, okay. And Alberto, where is Alberto in here? I'm
Is
okay.
the what in here?
Is Alberto in this class?
Yeah, he
I
is. He is, but I think he's frozen. His camera is off, I think. Maybe his internet is.
so, but I need to make up the question using in.
Ah, fantastic. Is Alberto in this class? Very well done. Very well done, right? We got Claudio is very sharp here. He's using the question to answer my question. Yes, is Alberto in this class, right? That is one example using in, right? Even though this class physically does not have defined boundaries, for things like the word class, we use the preposition in, right? So
Okay.
great job, Claudio. Heidi, what about you?
I have a scarce of food in my refrigerator.
Yes, right? I have a, what kind of food is it, Heidi?
Scarce. A little food.
Ah, okay. I have a scarce amount of food in my refrigerator.
Yeah.
So I have a scarce amount of food in my fridge or refrigerator, right? If we say scarce, then scarce is just an adjective, so we should also include amount or something like that, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I have a scarce amount of food in my fridge. Fantastic. Yulisa, another sentence with in, please.
I'm a bit afraid of traveling on a plane.
That was on.
Yeah.
I think we're using in, Yulisa.
With plane in?
Well, no. I'm saying let's make a sentence with in.
Ah, okay. Sorry.
No worries, no worries.
In. Oh my gosh.
So think about an enclosed space, something that has boundaries, right?
Yes.
So something, anything like that, you can use.
Students have to be silent when they are in class.
Students have to be silent when they're in class, right? Fantastic. Class has boundaries. Class has 4 walls, 4 rooms. Maybe not our hangout, but like a normal class, definitely, right? Murad, can you give us an example of in?
Hello, I was talking while I was muted.
No worries. Go ahead.
So I said, Argan triggers only in Morocco.
Oregon triggers only in Morocco?
Argan tree.
Argan tree grows only in Morocco. I've never heard of that tree
Yes.
before. Maybe because I've never been to Morocco.
Maybe.
Makes sense, right? The Argan tree only grows in Morocco. Fantastic.
Yes.
And why does in work in that example?
Because Morocco is a country.
And it has
it
boundaries.
has borders.
Exactly,
Boundaries.
right? Fantastic. Borders, boundaries, anything like that, right? Fantastic. Salvador, another example within, please.
My belt is in the closet.
My belt is in the closet. Fantastic. And just in time, Alberto comes back to save the day. Alberto, can you hear us?
Yes, Farhan, sorry, my connection had some problems.
No problems. Can you give us a sentence using in?
Okay, I'm in a boat.
I'm in a boat. Fantastic, right? That's good. Some very famous rappers have made a song called, I think, I'm in a boat or something like that. It was very famous a few years ago. Yeah. So those are all examples of in, right? Last but not least, guys, looking at the very last example of what we can use for a preposition of place, we have the word at, right? And how is at important? At is really something that we use to describe the position, the location of people or things at a specific point, or something that is considered to be a little bit more general, but understood specifically in the context of the sentence, right? This is a little complicated, right? When we use at, we are focusing on specificity. We are focusing on talking about a specific point. Or we are talking about something that can be understood to be specific within the context in which it is described, right? So either it itself is very specific, or we can tell that it's specific because of the rest of the sentence. The rest of the sentence tells us that it is specific, right? So what are some examples, right? We can say, for example, someone is knocking at the door. Someone is knocking, or not knocking on the door, excuse me. Someone is knocking on the door, or someone is at the door, right? Somebody is at the door. Somebody is at the front door. Somebody is at the gate of our house, right? Bill is at the top of the mountain, right? The ship is at the bottom of the ocean, right? We're talking about a specific place. Yeah, go ahead, Claudio.
If I would say somewhere is on the door, I would say that somewhere is in up on the door.
Yeah, if you say someone is on the door, it means this is the door and somebody's on it.
Yes, okay.
Right? That's why.
But if somewhere is standing in front of the door, I need to say somewhere is at the door.
Someone is at the door. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly, right? So we use at for these specific things, right? Someone is at the door. The car is at the gas station, right? The car is at the gas station. The ship is at the bottom of the ocean, right? Maybe it sank, right?
Okay.
The plane is at the gate in the airport.
My friend is at the New York is correct.
No, actually, because New York is too general. New York is too general. It's not specific enough. So what would we use instead of at in that example, Claudio?
In New York, maybe.
Yes.
I know, but just to understanding what the situation. Because in Portuguese is the same word, but it's the same word, but it's different idea.
Yeah.
But I know what do you mean.
Yeah, in Spanish it's the same thing. If somebody is in New York, we say está en Nueva York. You know, we don't. There's no at New York in New York. It's just en Nueva York, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same Portuguese and Spanish, I think, in this regard. Yes. Alberto, did you want to say something?
Farhan?
Yeah.
Is it correct to say he is at the north of New York?
You know, it's better to say he is north of New York. You don't need a preposition in that example.
Okay. And how could we use at and New York? He's at west of New York, or?
So if you have a direction like north, east, west, or south, unless you are talking about a specific place that is north of New York, you can just say he is north of New York, right? If you say, for example, if I say Alberto is north of New York, that can mean anywhere north of New York, Canada, North Pole, Santa Claus, anything. Right? It doesn't matter. But if you want to say, for example, a specific location, then you can use at. You can say, Alberto is at the nearest or at the gas station north of New York. Right?
Okay.
He is at the airport that is west of New York. Right? That way, it's a little bit more specific because you're talking about a specific location in relation to another city, right? Or in relation to another location. But yeah, good question. And this is where things get complicated, right? Because right now I said he is at the airport, right? He is at school. In English, we consider that to be specific, right? However, we can't say he is at New York. We have to say he is in New York. So
Okay.
New York is too general, but airport is specific enough, right?
Okay.
That's what makes English crazy.
I have a question.
Yes, in the north, for example, when we add the, we have to use in the north. Do you understand me?
Farhan, are you there?
Maybe he lost in connection.
Yeah.
Maybe lost his connection.
Okay. Let's wait a little. Claudio, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. I
Uh,
think all the rest.
can you listen me?
Yes.
Murad
Somebody,
and Yulisa?
somebody's dog is
Yes,
barking.
I can hear all of you. Sure. Had also a problem.
Oh,
Hello, Farhan. You are back.
he's here again. Hi,
Yeah.
Hello.
Sorry about that, guys. Something happened with my connection. Something's going crazy.
No
Welcome back.
problem.
Thanks, guys. Alberto, you had a question. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Farhan, what
Yeah.
about the supermarket? Do we say I'm at the supermarket?
Yes, sir.
And the mall is not the same that supermarket. Why do we say I'm in the mall?
Honestly, man, I swear it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, right? You can say I'm in the supermarket. It actually works. It actually works, but it's better to say I'm at the supermarket.
Okay.
And honestly, man, I don't know the reason.
Okay.
It's just the way we speak. I mean, it's that's what makes it really confusing. At the airport, at the supermarket, people do say I'm at the mall. People do say that a lot. You don't have to really say I'm in the mall. You can say I'm at the mall also.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Farhan, you mentioned that we can use in for natural media.
Mm-hmm.
For example, can we say I'm in the forest
Yes, absolutely.
or I'm in the mountain?
I'm in the mountains. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And what about a stadium?
What do you think?
I'm I'm in the stadium.
Yeah, both of those will work, right? This is a very good question, right? In and at, the difference, right? So think about this, guys. If you say you are at the stadium, you are saying just very generally, I am at the stadium. I have reached the stadium. I'm at the stadium, right? If you say I am in the stadium, you are saying you are physically inside the building. You are within that enclosed boundary that is the stadium, right? So if you tell somebody I'm in the stadium, I would not be looking for you outside the stadium.
Okay.
But if you tell me I'm at the stadium, you can be anywhere. You can be maybe near the, eating some, salsipapa outside. You can be going, you can be anywhere in the environment of the stadium and still say I'm at the stadium. Same thing with the mall. If you say I'm in the mall, I will not look for you outside. I will look for you inside the mall itself, right?
Okay.
So for a big location like a mall or a stadium, in and at we can use to specify whether or not we are inside or just have reached that location. I think
Okay.
that's a good way of thinking about it.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Any other questions, guys? I know this was a longer lesson because there are so many examples, but on versus in versus at, do we have any other questions?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Salvador.
For use at, that is for objects that can move, or I can use it for static objects.
For using at, you would want to use it for things that are static, right? So maybe what's an example that you had in mind when you asked that question? It's a good question.
For example, talking about argan tree, maybe
Uh-huh.
it's in front of the house of Morad in Morocco.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know if I can use at front of his house,
You would say in front of his house.
in front.
Yeah, so the argan tree is in front of Murad's house in Morocco, or grows in front of Murad's house in Morocco.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's going to be in front of, but then, or you can say, for example, the argan tree is in Murad's garden in Morocco, or is in Murad's backyard in Morocco.
Oh,
Right?
so I can't use at.
You don't want to use at in this example, no.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're talking about a tree would, probably grow in an enclosed location, right? It would probably grow in some other area, maybe in a garden or in a yard or something like that. So in this case, it's better to use in.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. No, great question, guys. Great questions. If we're all set with questions, then let's start looking at the article, guys. The article today is an interesting article that I picked up. It's related to science, and I enjoy it because it's talking about something that I think is very, it makes sense. You know, I think even doing a research study about this is a little silly because maybe people had already, maybe everybody knows that this is true, but at the same time, it's important to realize that, you know, naps can really nurture your noggin, right? What is noggin? I wanted to use this word because it's a funny word in English, but we do hear it every now and then, especially maybe in like children's commercials and things like that, right? Do you guys know what noggin means?
No.
It's a special word. It's an interesting word. It's a little rare. Noggin means your brain, your head, your mind, right? So if something is nurturing your noggin, it is nurturing your brain, nurturing your mental abilities, right? Making you smarter, making your brain stronger, right? Making you better in that sense. So when we take a look at this article, we'll be able to see that this article is really talking about how important naps are, right? Small naps, very short naps, can really help you when it comes to improving brain performance, improving your brain's ability to think and act, and really help you be a more intellectual, you know, well-rounded person when it comes to thinking. So let's take a look at this article, guys. Let me screen share real quick, and we can get started in just a sec. Let's see. All right, guys. Naps may aid young children's learning. A preschooler's nap may be an important tool for learning, a new study of 3 to 5-year-olds suggests. Researchers tested 40 children in the morning by showing them a picture on a card, then flipping the card over and asking the child to remember its location on a grid. The children then continued the regular program. At around 2 p.m., half the children were encouraged to nap, while the other half were given activities to keep them awake. The researchers retested the children after nap time and again in the next morning. All the children participated both as nappers and as non-nappers. When children napped, they scored higher on tests of recall afterward than when they stayed awake for the same time period. Nappers also did better on tests the next day. The findings were published online in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Children not only need to nap, but should be encouraged to nap, said the senior author, Rebecca M.C. Spencer, an associate professor of psychology at the University of Massachusetts, Amherst. Schools are getting pressure to add curriculum and activities, but naps serve an academic function as well. A nap really supports the goals of preschool. So, a very short article, right? But I think it's a very, very powerful article because it's showing us even the little things are important in the overall picture of how we rest and how we lead our days and how we function, right? What do you guys think about this article? Alberto, if I had to ask you, did you take naps as a child?
I don't remember, but I think yes.
You did, right? Yeah. And why do you think little kids why do they sleep so much?
Maybe because they are very hyperactive and they need to get back the energy.
All the energy that they spend, right, when they're running around and.
Yes. Maybe it's
Exactly.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So kids do need, you know, that rest and that extra time to regain their energy, right? Claudio, do you think napping or taking a small rest, you know, sleeping, just closing your eyes, do you think that helps you relax and helps you kind of recharge your brain?
Oh yes, I love sleeping. maybe because maybe, maybe because I am always wake up. I am always alert in a moment of my life because I need to take care of my family, and it's very important to me. So I need to work a lot, and I love to dream, to sleep, in my particular time. It's very important to me. It's a kind of my religion, because when I sleep, I I I shut my mind and my my universe in front of myself. So it's for me it's a good way to rest.
Fantastic. No, fantastic. I really like that, Claudio. And I think it's the same for a lot of us, right? When we rest, that is really the time that we block everything out, right? In English, we say you block everything out.
Yeah, yeah,
You don't think about stress and life and work and traffic and all that random, all that. I like to call it mental cholesterol,
yes, yes. Well,
right?
as I have a friend that usually said that also I dream less that I need, but when I dream a lot.
Yeah, I agree, right? And dreams are amazing. Dreams really, as long as the dream is happy and not something scary, right? Dreams can give you a really nice, I guess they can really give you a nice perspective on your life. I've seen that sometimes with dreams, right?
I
Um,
sleep to dream.
I sleep to dream.
My first goal when I am sleeping is to discover my dream, maybe.
Nice, nice. That's awesome. Uh, so Yulisa, what do you think about napping and sleeping? Does it help you to maybe take a small siesta in the middle of the day and just nap? I know they do it in Spain, but I wasn't sure. Maybe in South America also, it's normal to maybe in the afternoon to take a nap for a few hours or for 1 hour.
Well, from during the week, no, I don't think it's common because we have to work or doing other things.
Uh-huh.
But sometimes on the weekends, yes, I try to sleep a little bit. Sometimes I can't, but some
Mm.
days, yes. And I think naps can be very powerful because after that, after you sleep for a while, you feel more energetic. Like you
Mm-hmm.
can start doing more things than if you are all the day wake up doing different activities.
Absolutely right. Absolutely. Especially if you find yourself at school for many hours of the day, you come back. Some people, even before they eat dinner, they take they take a short nap, maybe just 20 minutes because they are so tired. They take a shower and then they go to sleep for just maybe 20 minutes, right? And then 20, 25 minutes, half an hour. Then they wake up and they have dinner and they get started on all their homework, for example.
Yes, that
I have some
helps.
friends who do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It works, right? Especially if you take a shower first and then you go to nap. I love that feeling,
You are like
right?
new.
Yeah, right. You feel brand new. You feel so refreshed, right? It does really help. Um, Salvador, what do you think about naps?
I think that is a good practice because uh, everybody feels better when you wake up before napkin.
Hmm.
I'm not.
Absolutely. Or after you nap, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And it's one of those things that I think. I mean, is it something that you do like regularly, just like you, Lisa? Do you try to maybe nap during the weekend, or do you not nap that much
I have to nap in my day off.
on your days off? Uh-huh.
Yes. Sometimes the problem is the time that we are napping. Maybe it's taking too long, maybe 1 hour,
Hmm.
because you are very tired and you have to rest.
Absolutely, right? That makes sense. It's an interesting concept. We have to balance the rest of our schedule with the amount of time that we want to nap as
Yes.
well.
The, the last time I was reading about that, and that is I don't know how to say Roman culture or Roman custom.
Roman customs, sure, yeah.
Yes, that is the origin of the nap.
Did they? Oh, so they were the first people who started to nap?
That's what I read.
Oh wow, that's very interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's beneficial, right? I think it definitely has a lot of value if getting that rest. What are some other ways, guys? So this article is talking really about cognitive function. Okay, this is kind of a difficult word. Cognitive function. Cognitive function in English means brain power. Really, it's another way of saying brain power, right? So these children, these young children, they're in preschool, maybe 3 years, 4 years old. When they napped, they did better on the exam that they had the following day. They did better at remembering cards and objects that they were shown, right? They were shown maybe a picture of a car, and then it was flipped over. They had maybe 12 pictures, and they were shown each one, and then they were all flipped over, so they couldn't see what they were. They had to remember, oh, this was a car, this was a car. They had to match, right? That was a boat, that was a boat. They had to match, right? Little kids, 3 years, 4 years old, right? And they did better, so much better when they had a nap, right? So what we see from this study and from what you guys are saying, naps really help your brain, help you recharge. What are some other ways that you can help your memory? You can help increase your memory. Alberto, do you have any ideas maybe about that?
Well, I think that maybe you can read. Reading is a good way to increase your memory. I have also seen some games, some mobile applications.
Like Sudoku?
Yeah, and there is a special application called Brain Trainer.
Brain Trainer, okay.
Yes, where you have some games to enforce your memory. For example, you need to guess cards, or you need to. They show you a picture, and you need to remember the position of the figures, things like that. I think also that some people try to exercise their memory every day. They just learn something, and they just try to memorize everything they can and repeat it in order to exercise their memory daily. Yeah.
So yeah, some people they have a really strong natural memory, right?
Yes, that's right. I remember I had a teacher that he teach math, and he never brought a book with him. Everything was in his head, and he was always saying that we need to practice our memory, that we need to train our memory.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Maybe he had what we call in English photographic memory.
Yeah, I would like to have that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody would, right? They say Bill Gates has photographic memory.
Yeah, maybe.
They say that if he sees something, like if he sees a piece of paper, he can remember every single word on that piece of paper just after looking at it.
Yes. He saw the Mac OS, and he could to
he just copied
to make
it, right?
up it the same ways. There's some photographic memory.
I know, right? He took it from Steve Jobs. He looked at Steve Jobs' design, memorized it, stole it. There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
His good idea is to create their idea there, his friend.
I know. It's kind of crazy, right? But Claudia, what do you think? What do you do for memory? Have you ever tried memory games or memory exercises to improve your memory, or do you know people who do that kind of thing?
No, actually, I'm learning another language to work out my memory.
That's a good way to do it, also, right?
Yes. Oh, you know, I before I start to learn English, I don't need to speak English in my common life. So before it, I would I I'd play games by internet. The common games by internet. So I liked it to play Reversi. It's a kind of Othello. You know Othello Reversi?
No, I haven't heard of it, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a kind of chess. It's a kind of chess. It's the good chess. It's the fast chess. So I spent my all day to play this kind of games. So I started to learn English before it. And learning another language is the good way to work out our brain, because it's very difficult to remember the words and to remember the accents and the way to say. It's very good way to work my brain, my memory, and this kind of things.
Great, that's awesome. Claudio, I really, really like that idea. It didn't even cross my mind. You guys are all learning English, and how much memory do we need when we learn a different language? Tons of memory, right? All the time you're thinking, you're thinking maybe in your native language, this means this in my language. In English, it means this. Words and grammar and vocabulary and sentence structure, everything is very different when it's two different languages, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I discovered that the brain, the language brain, is a kind of muscle, because sometimes you are very smart to understand a lot of things in English, to speak a lot of things, and in my case, of course, I don't know about my friends, but in my case, and in another day, you can't understand so easy, so fast, so quickly, the things that you are hearing, and you can't speak in that you are thinking the way really quickly. So, but when you are reading, some words you can reading, but you cannot remember when you are talking. Some words you can understand when you are talking, but I can't remember when I am listening. It's very remanage of the brain, of the language brain. It's a very good exercise, I think.
Yeah, and you have to try different strategies, right? When it comes to language learning, some things work very well for some people. Like some people may just they might be able to just read the lesson and understand everything. Other people, they need examples, they need conversation, they need to write down words, read words over and over, maybe to memorize, right? Many people, many different strategies when it comes to language learning. Yulisa, what has worked for you? Maybe have you tried doing memory exercises in the past, or maybe in your own journey to become fluent in English? Have you done anything interesting?
Well, in English, with the vocabulary, I try to practice with examples, making my own examples or trying to relate things with an image or a picture. Yeah, but I think that, for example, another way to memorize, and that especially they use it more for children, is the repetition. That's how I remember I learned how to multiply, doing repetition, so that you memorize it. I don't know if that's the best way, but it's still use that to make children to repeat things.
Yeah, it's how I learned stuff. My parents taught me the times tables. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. You know, all through repetition, right? It's very, very important, I think. Salvador, have you tried any strategies before when it comes to memorizing things?
As Julissa said, just with repetitions.
Repetition is the biggest thing for you too?
I don't know if it's the best, but that's what I try.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes, for example, if you are learning some language, as we are learning English, we have to practice. And maybe I can repeat every word, but I have to know when to use it.
Mm-hmm. So situational memorization.
And I think that I have to force my brain to use it.
Yeah, it's good to learn a word, right? It's good to learn 3 words, 4 words. But if you don't have that example, I think what Yulisa was saying, you need to have examples of how those words work in English, right? Or you need to know, okay, if I say at the airport versus in the forest, right? These are all examples of how we use words. And then you have to practice those in your normal conversation, in your normal day-to-day understanding of things, right? I think that's crucial. Yeah, because otherwise, two days from now, you will get confused. Was it at? Was it on? You know, all sorts of things like that. So, yeah, I agree with you guys. I think it's a great way to language learning is a great way to increase memory. And Alberto, I actually used this app before, Lumosity, this mind application. I did one of their games, and I really enjoyed it. I think it really helped me. So if you guys are interested, check it out. I think it's a really good application for brain power, brain memory, you know, things like that. So yeah. Thanks for it. Yeah. Have you used it yourself, Alberto?
Yes, I tried some of its games. Yes, they were good.
Yeah, I think they do a good job. Any other questions, guys? We're technically at the end of class. I know it's late for all of us here. We are all in the Western Hemisphere. We don't have anybody from Israel or Kuwait today or anything like that. We're all in El Mundo Occidental. So, any other questions, guys? Anything going on?
No.
Okay, Alberto's okay. What about you guys? Does it all make sense? In, on, at. I know there are some examples that were a little confusing, but let me know if you guys. Yeah, go ahead, Elisa.
In some cases, it's confusing. For example, when you say on the screen, why not in the screen?
Fantastic question. Right? Fantastic question. This is on the screen, or I see this on the screen, right? You know why you don't say in, Yulisa? I think because if you say in, you're saying like physically inside the screen there's a problem. And when you're thinking about an image like on TV, it's on TV. Like it's on the computer, it's on TV, right? Did you see that presentation on TV? Did you see that new movie on TV? Right? TV is one of those interesting examples because the surface itself is a digital surface, right? They're physically speaking, if something is on the surface of the TV screen, then we can say, for example, like maybe there's a small amount of dust. Oh, there's some dust on the TV screen. There's some dust on the TV, right? Clean it off. There's some dust on the TV. That also works. We can also say there's some dust on the TV. We can never say there's dust in the TV unless there's physically you open the TV and there's dust inside. Yeah, but you would say dust on the TV. Something is on the TV. Something is on the projector. Something is on the screen. Something is on the
newspaper.
The newspaper. Oh, he's frozen again.
Julissa, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can
Yes,
hear you.
Julissa.
I'm here.
Yes, and maybe Farhan lost his connection.
Yeah. Have a
Julissa,
good night.
your English is very fast. It's very smart English. Yes,
I don't think so.
yes, I couldn't understand you completely, and then very fast and very smart way to. Oh,
Oh, I'm
teacher
back,
is
guys. I'm
again.
back. Sorry.
Hello.
What happened again? Sorry about that, guys. Something happened. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I think Salvador was saying on the newspaper. That is another
Yeah,
example.
that's not the newspaper. I saw this on the newspaper, or I saw this on the paper today. We never say in the newspaper, right? Because we're talking about something, or we do say newspaper. We do say in the newspaper if we're talking about something that is in the newspaper, an article in the newspaper. Did you see that article in the newspaper? Yes, I saw that article in the newspaper. Right? But you can say, in another way, you can say, for example, I read it in the newspaper. I read it in the newspaper today. On the newspaper could be something like a headline story on the newspaper, something like that, right? It is confusing, guys. Really, it comes down to practice. It comes down to hearing these examples and saying to yourself, hey, what made sense? What did we talk about? Is it on? Is it in? Is it at? And really, it's building that memorization. If anything, this lesson has more memorization than many other lessons in English. Right? Because so much of it is based on specific examples.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So keep practicing.
Keep practicing, guys, and let me know if you guys have questions. I mean, there are going to be other examples of these classes that, whenever you run across this, you're talking about verbs or adjectives or any other class, and you're looking at prepositions on, in, at. I mean, there are many lessons also that maybe you guys can find good links on, Google or other books that could really help you. But really, it's example based. It's all about examples in this lesson. Awesome, guys. I think we're good. No other questions?
Oh, I'm okay.
Alrighty. You guys are good. Alberto, did you have a question?
No, I'm okay. Thank you very much, Farhan.
Absolutely, guys. You're welcome. And
Thank
remember,
you.
guys, you're welcome. You're welcome. I have a class tomorrow night, same time. Add me on Facebook, whatever you guys want to do. If you guys want to ask questions about English, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to help you guys.
Sure.
Okay, thank you for.
Alrighty, guys.
Salvador,
everyone.
Bye, friends.
Take care,
See you
guys.
later. Bye, guys.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care, Farhan. Bye-bye.
Classmates.
Bye. Desk.
Yeah, or over.
Or if you can just say, are the books on the desk?
On, yeah, right.
On the desk, fantastic,
There are
okay.
books on the desk.
What else?
What else? There is a, how to say, okay, there is a TV next to the desk.
There's a TV next to the desk as well, fantastic. And you can also, so those are great ways to think about what is near us, right?
Yep.
Somebody's playing music, yeah. In any case, Heidi, could you describe a few things that are near you?
Yes, my computer is on the desk. Between computer and me, there's a notebook. On the notebook, there's a ball pen. Sometimes I write down some phrase or new word.
Fantastic. That's always a good thing to have, right? A notebook near you. And Alberto, last but not least, something that is near you or things that are near you that you can describe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I always memorize the title of the lesson and the participant.
Nice. It's good. It's good to have that record always, Heidi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have some question, please ask me. I memorize a lot of things.
It seems like it, Heidi. You know a lot of stuff, and it's very good that you're keeping that's on your desk, something that's near your computer, right? You can talk about anything that's near you. Let's start with Salvador.
Okay. I have my cell phones on my desk, and I have a television behind me.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a cell phone on your desk, and you have a TV behind you, a television behind you? Fantastic. Murad, could you describe a few items that are close to you?
There are many things. A bottle of water, some copybooks, my keys, my cell phone, some cosmetics products, some clips, many things.
Nice. But could you describe where they are, maybe? Are they on a table? Are they on a desk?
They are on my desk.
They are on your desk. Fantastic, right?
Yes.
Yulisa, how's it going? Welcome to class.
Hi. Hi, Farhan. I'm doing fine. Thank you.
Good. Could you describe a few things that are near you?
Okay, let me see. There is a desk in front of me. There are books above the desk.
There are books above the desk.
I was a little busy, despite it's a free day here, or holiday. Yeah, but I was working intraday.
Were you able to relax at least a little bit?
Yeah, of course. I would like to.
Nice. And good friend Alberto, how's it going, man?
Hi Farkan, how are you doing? I'm fine.
Good. How's your day?
Oh, I think it was a good day. Yeah. What about you?
Good. Normal day.
Yeah, great.
I have 2 days until I finish my job, and then I will go on vacation. So.
Oh, yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be really nice to just not think about work. All right, guys. Well, great. Welcome to class. Just wanted to begin the class today with a quick question. Today we're going to be talking about prepositions of just general prepositions of place. We've been focusing a lot on prepositions the last couple of lessons. They are important in English when we talk about when we try to relate nouns to each other, right? That's when prepositions become really important. Before we get started, I just wanted to ask a quick question to each of you. Could you describe a few objects that are maybe physically near you right now? Maybe something
going well.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah.
Did you get good news? Can your cast come off in 3 weeks, 1 month?
I'm not sure. I need to have this casket at least additional 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Now a typhoon is between South Korea and Japan Sea.
Is it going to reach Japan, do you think?
I know they are going to the northern part of the Hokkaido, maybe. It will attack Hokkaido.
Okay, attack Hokkaido. Okay, so it's going to...
This morning it was windy and very strong rain. But now it's getting better. I can see blue sky.
Nice, that's always good. Salvador, how's it going, my friend?
Hi, doing great. Thank you for asking. How are you?
Good. I'm good. Salvador, have you been in my class before?
Last time was in your class for 30 minutes.
Just for 30 minutes. I forgot where you're from.
I'm from Honduras.
Honduras?
Yes.
Honduras. Nice to meet you, man. Nice to see you again.
Okay. Nice
how was your day? Oh, that's fine. How was your day? Yeah.
It was a great day. I just came home from the work.
Nice. Same here, I think. So it's time to rest, right?
Yes, right.
Rest and also learn some English.
Yes.
That's great. What about, let's see, did anyone just join? Yeah, we have our good friend Murad. How's it going, Murad?
Hello, I am fine, thank you. How about you?
Good. How's life in Monterey?
No, it's normal. It's okay.
Has it rained recently?
Some days ago, it did.
Yeah, Probably rained a lot, right?
But the day before it was very cold.
Yeah. Marco and I think Ingrid, right? Huracan. Marco.
Marco?
Weren't those the names of the two hurricanes, Marco and Ingrid, I think?
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay, I was watching this news channel and they were saying Mexico was...
It was in another state, I think.
Oh, okay.
In Acapulco, right?
Acapulco, okay, it's on the west coast.
Yes.
El Estado Soberano y Libre de Acapulco. Soberano y libre. I love that.
Libre.
Hey, Jose, how's it going, man?
Hello, Fargan. Hello, everybody. How you doing?
Good, good. How's your day?
Well,